Hi, we're here today in the Manila Zoo to discover different types of predators in the Philippines.
Individual organisms in a community interact in many different ways. An interaction may benefit both individuals, or the interaction may benefit one organism to the detriment of the other. One organism kills and consumes another. This phenomenon is called predation.
The simplest classification of predators is based on their food sources. These are the carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores. Let's explore more to learn about these concepts.
Omnivory. This is the consumption of animal tissue. The eagle owl. They are characterized by their very large size, the two tufts of feathers on their head, and the large orange eyes. They are a very large and powerful bird, larger than a buzzard, 59 to 73 centimeters long, with a 138 to 170 centimeter wingspan. Their diet, their prey includes rodents, hares, rabbits, and large game birds. Burmese python. Its bold color pattern is mainly in browns and yellows. Its small spurs represent the vestiges of hind limbs, which grow to a length of 20 feet. Its maximum recorded length is 25 feet and can weigh as much as 200 pounds. The female is larger than the male, and it kills by constriction, in which the prey is suffocated. It's a nocturnal hunter, and it prowls looking for prey or waits by a waterhole. Its diet: it eats small mammals, birds, reptiles, frogs, and even fish. Herbivory. This is the consumption of plant or algal tissue. A study of the African elephant finds that despite its large size and fast operating digestive system, this mammal does not just eat anything. This mega herbivore selectively chooses species and parts of the woody plants that comprise its diet. This is the Indian star tortoise. It is named for the star-like pattern on its high domed shell. The Indian star tortoise is an herbivorous animal that has a purely vegetarian diet. The Indian star tortoise browses in the dry forests of the Indian subcontinent in search of a wide variety of plant life, from leaves to fruits and berries and numerous different species of flowers that are found growing in such arid environments. Omnivory. This is the consumption of both animal tissue and plant tissues. Red belly pacus are omnivorous and will pretty much eat anything. But in their natural environment, they mainly eat surface and aquatic insects as well as large amounts of vegetable matter. The main part of their diet focuses on vegetable matter as well as some small fruits. But they will also eat meaty food items such as crickets, earthworms, bloodworms, and brine shrimp. Food that ducks regularly eat include small fish and fish eggs, snails, worms and mollusks, small crustaceans, grass and weeds, algae and aquatic plants and roots, frogs, salamanders and other amphibians, aquatic and land insects, seeds and grains, and small berries, fruits, and nuts. Ostrich is an omnivore and therefore eats a variety of both plants and animals. The diet of the ostrich mainly consists of leaves, grass, seeds, roots, flowers, and berries, along with insects and occasionally small mammals and reptiles.
Another way of classification is based on function. It is more appropriate in describing and understanding predator and prey relationships.
This is the inside story of 4 extraordinary predators. The peregrine falcon, the Nile crocodile, the cheetah, and the great white shark.
Herbivores have large, flat teeth used to grind down the plants they eat. Their teeth are arranged more toward the back of the mouth and have large ridges. Giraffes, like many other herbivores, use their lips to pull off leaves and small branches. Watch how they use a circular motion as they chew. This helps pulverize the plants into digestible form.
Herbivores are at the second trophic level of the food chain and mainly eat plants. They are considered primary consumers and are the first consumers on the food chain. The two types of herbivores are the browsers and grazers. The browsers eat leaves, shoots, and twigs such as the giraffe. The grazers eat grass and small plants in the ground like the zebra.
A parasitoid is an organism that, During its development, lives in or on the body of a single host individual, eventually killing that individual.
Coevolution is a process by which two or more interacting species evolve together, each changing as a result of changes in the other. An example that exhibits this phenomenon is the Roadrunner cartoons, wherein the Roadrunner must be smart enough to evade the coyote. In the same way, the coyote or the predator must also evolve more effective means in capturing the roadrunner. Another example of coevolution is the Red Queen hypothesis, as adapted from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, a sequel of Alice in Wonderland. In the story, a line was stated by the Red Queen, and to quote, "Now, here you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place." The same is true for prey species. To avoid extinction in the hands of the predators, they must evolve means of avoiding capture. As an illustration, here is a yellow happily walking around when the blue predator having arms approaches him. Using the arms, the blue can grasp yellow and eat him. Yellow has now evolved to be much faster and have longer legs, enabling it to flee from blue. Blue then adapts to become much bigger to capture yellow and eat him. Yellow now adapts and evolves to have a shell, but blue cannot eat him and starves to death. Finally, blue evolves to possess teeth that can finally eat the shelled yellow. This phenomenon then goes on and on, giving rise to various adaptations of both prey and predator. Prey usually use animal defenses to avoid predators.
One animal with a chemical defense mechanism is the pufferfish. Pufferfishes are all named for their ability to inflate their bodies as a defense. When threatened, pufferfishes swallow water to fill their expandable stomachs. Since their ribs are quite short and do not form a cage around the stomach, the entire body increases in diameter 2 to 3 times as the stomach swells, making these fish too large or unwieldy for most predators to handle. When threat is past, the water is expelled and the fish returns to its original size. In addition, many pufferfishes also have chemical defenses. Their skin produces a potent toxin that may deter predators. Almost all pufferfish contain tetrodotoxin, a substance that makes them foul-tasting and often lethal to fish. To humans, tetrodotoxin is deadly, up to 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide. There's enough toxin in one pufferfish to kill 30 adult humans, and there is no known antidote. Cryptic coloration. This includes colors and patterns that allow prey to blend into the background. Some animals are protectively colored, blending into the background of their normal environment. Such protective coloration is common among fish, reptiles, and many ground nesting birds. An example that will be discussed is the flounder.
Flounder. The very word makes the fish seem helpless and confused. And that's just what they want you to think. Their thin bodies and camouflaged scales help them look like the seabed. Once within range, they strike with sudden speed. This is a shrimp, aka dinner. The flounder hides under a thin covering of sand. Only its eyes peek out. Strangely enough, when a flounder is born, its eyes are on either side of its body. As it matures, one eye migrates to the other side, giving it the characteristic flat shape that allows it to hide so well. The shrimp senses danger, but it's too late. But the flounder's hungry movements don't go undetected. This osprey senses an easy snack. The flounder attempts to disguise itself again, but the sands are too sparse and the water too shallow. The eater is eaten, and the cycle of life continues, while other, better disguised flounder live on.
One creature hides in plain sight. Every body part is disguised to mimic the reef. Skin is textured like coral-encrusted rock, and even eyes impersonate algae. The scorpion fish is hungry, but he has to wait for the fish to come closer. The frustration of the sit-and-wait predator. Beaten by a neighbor in the perfect location. The sneak on the left is a special type of scorpion fish, the aptly named stonefish. There were two predators waiting all the time, and the stonefish lucked out.
Flash coloration is kept hidden until the animal is under attack. The animal then flashes bright colors to distract and confuse predators, thus helping the animal escape. The red-eyed tree frog uses its red eyes to shock and distract potential predators. In some cases, frightening eye spots or bright red, yellow, or blue markings appear, particularly on the underwings of a moth. Birds encountering these prey are startled and jump back, which may give the prey a chance to escape.
Another organism which uses flashing coloration is the white-tailed deer, named after the white underside of its tail. The deer raises its tail when alarmed, and is highly visible as it runs away from its predator. The predator, having focused on the tail, becomes disoriented with the sudden disappearance of the white coloration due to the turning of the deer into sharp angles. Aposematic coloration is the possession of warning signals that advertise dangerous and unpleasant attributes which are used to deter predators. A classic example is the spectacular coloration of the lionfish. In addition to this, the lionfish also utilizes chemical defense by secreting a toxin that affects the cardiovascular system of its predator. Another type of animal defense is mimicry, which is the resemblance of one organism to another or to an object in its surroundings for concealment and protection from predators. There are two types of mimicry. The first is Batesian mimicry, as exhibited by viceroy butterflies. Viceroy butterflies tend to mimic monarch butterflies and are often confused for one another. Viceroy butterflies possess a black line along the bottom of its wings and a single row of white dots on the black band, as compared to monarch butterflies. The two species have similar color patterns, even though they are not related, and are seen as unpalatable by predators. Predators learn not to prey on both species since they look much alike. Poison dart frogs exhibit a second type of mimicry. Mullerian mimicry is an adaptation in which poisonous organisms tend to look similar to ward off predators. Poison dart frogs have distinctive skin color patterns that serve as warning signals to potential predators. These frogs secrete a harmful toxin as a means of protection to predators. Another form of protection is structural defense. The protective armor is an example. The animal uses its protective covering that is made from a sturdy material to protect them from the predator, who are equipped with razor-sharp teeth and powerful jaws. An example of this would be a tortoise. A tortoise has a hard upper outer shell, also known as a carapace, which protects its upper body, while the under part of the tortoise is called the plastron, which protects the belly of the tortoise. Although the back legs, tail, and head are exposed, a tortoise can retract itself inside the shell once provoked. Thus, the two shells that is sandwiching the body parts of the tortoise is important for the survival of the tortoise. These loud animals are gibbons. Gibbons employ behavioral defenses through their very loud and pitchy screams and howls. This then scare and frighten their predators. Predator satiation is an adaptation in which prey occur at high population densities, thereby reducing the probability of an individual organism to be eaten. Some frogs employ this mechanism, in which they set a schedule of synchronized developmental stages. This enables survival from predators.
The Mimosa pudica, commonly known as the touch-me-not, is very true to its name. This sensitive plant closes its leaves when they are touched, making them appear dead and therefore unappetizing to predators.
Dieffenbachia, also called dumb cane or mother-in-law plant, originates primarily from Central and South America and the West Indies. This upright plant is a member of the arum family from which a majority of foliage plants belong. It is an excellent houseplant and one which is especially good for low-light environments. Plants in the tropics generally range from 3 to 5 feet, whereas leaf sizes range from the larger, robust amoenos to the smaller, highly variegated starlight varieties. Unique leaf patterns and textures blended with a color palette of grays, whites, and creams and olives make for an attractive interior foliage plant.
Castor oil plant is a common plant found in houses and gardens everywhere, but little do people know that it currently holds the Guinness Book of World Records title for the world's most poisonous plant. It produces a highly toxic chemical known as ricin, which you may have seen in the popular TV show Breaking Bad. Once ingested, symptoms usually begin within 2 to 4 hours.
Corn seedlings have a call for help mechanism. When attacked by caterpillars, they secrete terpenoids to attract wasps that will eventually feed on the caterpillars.
In order to keep up with their prey, predators have developed different tactics and strategies that can counter some of the earlier mentioned prey defenses. Predator tactics are of 3 types. First would be the ambush, next would be stalking, and lastly is the pursuit. Ambush is the main predatory tactic used by crocodiles. This technique involves lying in wait for prey to come along. Although it has a low probability of success, it requires minimal energy. Crocodiles usually wait underwater until a prey comes close to their snouts. Herons use stalking in capturing their prey. This technique is a deliberate form of hunting with a quick attack. In addition, a long search time is allocated while the pursuit time is minimal. Herons usually stalk fishes underwater and quickly captures it using its beak once located. Last but not the least is pursuit. This technique is used by insectivorous bats hunting for prey at night. This technique involves minimal search time since the predator usually knows the location of the prey, yet the pursuit time is long, a total opposite of stalking.
The vegetation, herbivore, carnivore system. Plants, herbivores, and carnivores are interrelated. A classic example would be the interaction of the vegetation, snowshoe hare, and its predators, the lynx, coyote, and horned owl. The hare feeds on browse, the collective term for buds of conifers and twigs of aspen, alder, and willow. Sadly, browse decreases during winter and causes a decrease in hare. Their predators too are affected because their food source is reduced.
Predation is a process of major importance in influencing the distribution, abundance, and diversity of species. In general, successful predation leads to an increase in the population size of the predator and a decrease in the population size of the prey. These effects on the prey population may then ripple out through the ecological community. indirectly changing the abundances of other species. The trophic cascade is an example of such indirect effects of predation. It occurs when the effects of predation cascade down the food chain to affect plants or other species that are not directly eaten by the predator. In addition to such ecological effects of predation, which occur on timescales of one or a few generations of the organisms involved, predation has also played, and continues to play, a major role over evolutionary time in molding the phenotypes of many species.